I'm Daryn Kagan. This is DarynKagan.com, and today we're going to catch up with the producer of one of the best series of kids' movies ever. Do you remember the Benji movies? Producer Joe Camp made America fall in love with that lovable mutt named Benji. Well, now, all these years later, Joe Camp has a new love. Joe Camp has fallen in love with horses. Looks like there's some happy horses at Joe and Kathleen Camp's place in Southern California. You can say there's a love affair going on here.
Every horse that I have been with is a very, very generous horse. They want to have a relationship. Ask me why. I don't know why they want to have a relationship with a predator, but they really do.
Joe's first love was dogs. He's the guy who brought us those wonderful Benji movies, making us fall in love with the mixed breed dogs in a new way.
The Benji movies has, the dog is actually acting on the screen and drawing you into his emotions so that you're struggling with him. He's the three-dimensional character. The people are the props.
In fact, Benji the Fourth still lives with the Camps, and now horses have become additional characters around their place. A few years ago, the Camps became horse owners. It was almost on a whim as they were looking out over their property.
And we'd sit out in the evening and look at the sunset and talk about, wouldn't it be nice if there were a couple of horses meandering around in those stalls down there?
3 weeks and 3 horses later, Joe says their education began.
In the course of doing that, Kathleen picked up a magazine and found an article by Monty Roberts, who's the guy who the horse whisperer was patterned after. He wrote a book called The Man Who Listens to Horses.
So the Camps began bucking much of the traditional way that people treat their horses. Gone are things like horseshoes. Joe believes the horses are healthier without them.
A barefoot horse will have a heart rate that is, on average, 10% less than a horse that's wearing a shoe.
And their horses no longer live in stables.
We are cave dwellers. Dogs are cave dwellers. We feel secure if we can get back into a cozy, dark corner of a cave and have walls all around us and so forth. A horse feels nothing but stress from that. And they need to be out in the herd because that is in wide open spaces. They want to be able to see everywhere so that they can see things coming and know when they need to protect themselves.
And Joe tried a new way for training his horse named Cash. It's the horse whisperer way, a system based on choice and respect.
And give him the opportunity to make the choice to be with me and to trust me. And when he did, everything changed. When he walked up behind me with my shoulders slumped, staring at the ground, and nuzzled me on the neck and rested his head on my shoulder, I just broke down crying. And that moment ceased to be a horse owner and became a friend, a companion, a partner, and hopefully a good leader. And that meant I had to find out what we're supposed to be doing with these horses.
Joe chronicles that journey in his new book called Soul of a Horse. He says it's more than a horse book. It's a place where we can all learn about having better relationships with people.
It's that whole getting over on the other side of the lead rope, whether it's your kids or your boss or your employees or your friends or your spouse, and looking at it, from their perspective. What are their aspirations? What are their needs? What are their desires to get out of this relationship rather than what you want to force on them from your side? No, I want you to do it my way, or I want you to hear what I want to do.
Great stuff about human souls from the man who spent his life with the soul of animals.
Now, I'm a storyteller. I've spent my life, telling stories from the heart and soul of a dog, and so shifting to the heart and soul of a horse, and the stories that I found fascinating about this journey that we took are really what the book's about.
This whole journey of learning about horses has been an incredible process for Joe Camp and his wife Kathleen, and they'd love to hear what you've learned about horses. You can find them at their website, soulofahorse.com. I'm Daryn Kagan, and I hope you click all around DarynKagan.com for more inspiring stories that show the world what's possible.